Well, thanks, Facebook or Wi-Fi or whoever the hell was responsible for that. I'm back. I hope you guys find me again. Yeah, I'm good and irritated now. Tell me something. Did it freeze up? Is that what was going on? Because I had a black screen and a thing twirling around going, hey, your internet's not connected. Find a better location. This location works fine every week. So I reconnected the internet in here. Well, that other one is probably the first attempt at this is probably not going to post. So I'm going to start back with what I was saying. And that is, people are asking, when are we going to get to see ANTiSEEN? And the answer is November. November 3rd at Reggie's in Wilmington, North Carolina. With an amazing band of Street Clones and Bastard Brigade. November 4th, Jack Rabbits in Jacksonville, Florida. November 5th at the Brass Mug in Tampa for Scumstock 2022. With other bands such as A Killing Tradition, Without MF Order, and many, many more. It's going to be a good time. Can you hear me? Yeah, I gotta calm down a little bit. That Wi-Fi business really ticked me off here, bud. Could you guys see me twisting the phone around and cussing and stuff? Did that broadcast? Oh, that's not the only time you'll get to see us in November. A week later, we will be doing a series of shows with the Obsessed. A few of those with ANTiSEEN, the Obsessed, and I Hate God. That's a 1, 2, 3 punch that you ain't never going to get up from. Do you hear me talking? I'm going to go ahead and jump into today. I don't really have a topic. Well, yeah, I do have a topic. But my topic is man, I try to do my top 10 favorite rock and roll bands. I'm just a singer in a rock and roll band. I try to do my top 10, can't do it. I got to do 20. So that's basically what today's program is going to be. Me talking about my top 20 favorite rock and roll bands. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm not doing individual singers. Maybe one, but two. But I'm not doing a bunch of crossover music. I'm just doing rock and roll hoochie coo bands. And you might say, damn, you played that's a heavy metal group right there. Not to me, it's rock and roll. It's all rock and roll to me. Rock and roll bands. Now I'm going to go from 20 to 1, but I'm going to tell you right now, none of them are in order. This is no order. Like when I get to number 1, your favorite band of all time is, it's, I don't know, my top 5. I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to go. I'm going to go. Number 20 for me. Now I know you ain't going to believe it. Damn, Jeff Clayton, that's your favorite, one of your top 20. Yes, Witchfinder General. Witchfinder General. Now I discovered them in what? 1982, 83? Oh, Dave Prino, now you know that, son. You know that. But number 19, New York Dolls. I know a lot of people have a wide opinion ranging from love to hate on the New York Dolls, but I love them. Yeah, they only did 2 albums. Unless you count that red patent leather, but I think that was a bootleg. I don't think that was a real release. Was it? Tell me. I think they just had the 2. And those 2 albums are great. Number 18. The Stooges. Oh, yeah. I know y'all probably ain't never heard of them. My first Stooges album, like a bunch of people on this list right now, was Raw Power. That was the one that was easiest available, especially once we started getting into punk. Number 17, Grand Funk Railroad. Grand Funk. Number 16 shouldn't be a surprise since I like to sling a washboard around on stage. Now, where did I get that idea? Did it just come to me? Out of the great blue sky? Now, there's a bunch of mofos I know that would go, yeah, man, that was my idea, son. No, I got it from watching Black Oak, Arkansas. And for any of you that think all they got going for them was Jim Dandy to the rescue, man, you are so wrong. Dig deep. Dig real deep. Listen to the first 5 or 6. Oh, good God. And if you ain't got time for 6, listen to the first 3. Or 4. Listen to the first 4. Black Oak, Arkansas, Keep the Faith. If an Angel Came to See You, Would You Make Her Feel at Home? And Raunch and Roll Live. And if you get through those and you go, man, I didn't like nothing on it, you don't like them. Number 15. Rose Tattoo. Damn, Jeff Clayton, Rose Tattoo, just a poor man's AC/DC. Nope. Not true. Now, Rose Tattoo had a little period in there where it turned out some duds. Just a couple. But those first 3, you can't find better rock and roll than those first 3 Rose Tattoo albums. Some of the later ones are real good, too. Some of them are too fucking long, but one of my top 20. One of my top 20 favorite rock and roll bands of all time. Number 14. Black Sabbath. My favorite Christian rock band in the world. Nah, man, damn, Jeff Clayton, you're crazy, man. Black Sabbath means pentagrams and upside down crosses and Satan and... You ain't been paying attention. Them boys wear their crosses right side up. Don't look at me. Y'all writing a damn pentagram on your notebook and writing Black Sabbath on it. It's like you don't know what's going on. You didn't pay attention. Number 13. Now this is where you're going to say, break your own rule. You did it individual. That's not a band, but okay. Well, they're my rules. I can break them when I want to. But number 13 for me, Terrible Uncle Ted Nugent. Oh, he's a solo / the Amboy Dukes. Man, I'm going to tell you something. In the 70s, Double Live Gonzo has to be the record that made me not afraid to go. And then Punk came along and urged me to go. Now, I know some of y'all, you ain't got no Ted Nugent record collection, but if you had to have one, if you just had, in my opinion, if you just had to have one, like if your Antifa friends are like, hey man, you got some Ted Nugent in here, mofo, make it be Tooth, Fang, and Claw by the Ted Nugent and Amboy Dukes. That's a damn near perfect album. And I also was a big fan of Call of the Wild, but man, I like those ones that were just Ted Nugent, basically the same group. There's some differences, but you can't go wrong with those for a few Ted Nugent albums, all the way up to Weekend Warriors, maybe a little bit of Scream Dream. Kind of hit or miss later, but I got the brand new Ted Nugent, Detroit Muscle. My main Andy Miller wrote a really nice review of it on my post that I did on my personal Facebook page. Andy wrote, and I agree with Andy. Unlike Andy, I really did like Come and Take It, but spot on with Andy, my favorite on the whole album was called Alaska. I mean, I know some people think, well, I listened to Ted Nugent album 35 years later. But, I mean, what do you do? What do? Do you tell people that make music, oh, stop making music. Just live on the laurels of your old records? I mean, they could. Yeah, we could. But we like making new songs. Yeah, and it's like, well, damn, are you going to have a Queen City Stomp or a Fuck All Y'all or Animals Eat 'Em on that? I don't know. That's up for y'all to decide, not me. But enough about me. Let's go on back to number 12. Aerosmith. Damn, Jeff Lane, you talking about that later Aerosmith when they got a commercial? I'm not as big a fan as that as I am Aerosmith debut album all the way through double or live bootleg. Hell, Night in the Ruts. Night in the Ruts was excellent. I love that band. And you know what? I only saw them one time. I've been a fan all my life ever since I started playing records and could get one of theirs. I've been a fan, but I've only seen them one time and they were terrible. It was during the time when Joe Perry had quit, Brad Whitford had quit. They had two other guys. Now, Jimmy Crespo did a really good job. And I think his name was Rick Dufay was in the band. Tyler was still messed up. And it didn't help. It didn't help things that the opening group was Rose Tattoo. That didn't help at all. But I only seen them one time. Now, most of these bands I've never seen Black Sabbath. I've seen Ozzy dozens of times. I've seen Iggy Pop and never saw the Stooges. All right, number 11, and this is going to be no mystery to you at all. Kiss. Man, I just, for you guys that were born much later than me, it's really hard to explain what that all meant to kids like us discovering that stuff when it was new. You know, we were looking forward to the next Kiss record instead of, you know, discovering a whole back catalog. Like, we were getting them as they were happening. And some people are such fans of, I think Kiss fans are probably can be more obnoxious than Deadheads or stuff like that. I mean, some people treat liking Kiss like a science. And I just like, man, I'm just thinking they had a fantastic show, and for a bunch of records, they had the music to back it up, which they could have played the music without the show. It would have still been awesome. But I love them. Despite some of the stupid and ridiculous things they say nowadays, in my opinion. I mean, who am I? What I'm going to tell Paul Stanley what to say? Or what he should do? I don't know what he should do. Man, I'm a guy that works in a warehouse, plays in a punk rock band. What do I know? I got a cream shirt, though. But anyway. Number 10. Motorhead. Motorhead. What's your favorite song about Ace of Spades? No, my favorite song ain't it. You know what? I could go the rest of my life and not hear Ace of Spades again. But damn, you got to give me Bomber. You got to give me Iron Fist. You got to give me the Orgasmatron. You got to give me all of them still, man. I listen to those. I listen to something off one of those albums every single day. Every day. Number 9. Now this not so much this choice, but my explanation of this choice is probably going to be somewhat controversial. But number 9 for me is The Who. Now, I was talking with my good friend Jeff Williams today. I called him up to help me. I was like, damn, Jeff Williams, you got to tell me, like, if somebody had a gun up to your head and say, hey, mofo, you got to name Jeff Clayton's 5 favorite bands, or I'm going to, well, I better not say all that. Them bots will get me off of here quicker than that damn Wi-Fi did at the beginning. But we started talking about The Who, and I said, man, I'm going to tell you that. In my opinion, though, The Who had a lot of filler. Oh, yeah. That's just, I believe that. Like, I'm going to tell you what now, I'm not a fan of Tommy. And The Who are one of my favorite bands, but I'm not a big fan of Tommy. But, I mean, that Who's Next album, I mean, is there many more albums that are more perfect than that? I could say the same thing about Quadrophenia, but, man, I could slice that up into a one-album set, and it'd be just as good as Who's Next. But, and there's a lot of that old Who I love. I even loved The Who later, after Keith died, with Kenny Jones on drums. I think some of that stuff is really good. Now, when they were rocking hard, man, they wasn't nobody that could rock harder. But, man, I got really fed up and bored with Pete Townshend's self-doubt and discovery and all that shit. I was just like, God almighty, man. We're confused enough. We don't need to hear you being confused. But hell, we won't get fooled again. That was probably the strongest statement he ever said. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. How many times does that happen? Number 8, Alice Cooper. Ah, man, that's no. Alice Cooper, the band. One of the greatest exports from the USA ever. Even Pretties for You, Even Easy Action, all the way up to Muscle of Love. All that stuff. Some of the greatest American rock and roll ever made. And you're talking about a country that produced Grand Funk Railroad too. And the Stooges. And a lot more that I can name here in a little bit. But number 7, and I know y'all gonna be like, man, are you crazy? Number 7, The Clash. Yeah, I love The Clash. I love them. All the records. Except for, what is it? This is England. This is England. I don't even have that one. I listened to it one time when it came out, and I was like, yeah, y'all can hang on to that one. But self-titled all the way through Combat Rock, love it. Do I agree with all their subjects and sentiment? No, I do not. But I'm secure enough in what I believe that I don't have to, that I can listen to other people's opinion. And I'm not going to be swayed by it. Through the Clash, I discovered tons of reggae. Which I think, I would say most of us learned about most reggae through the Clash, maybe for the Stiff Little Fingers. The Ruts, maybe. I don't know. In New London, North Carolina, there wasn't a big surgence of reggae going on around there. Number 6. AC/DC. I know some people won't listen to AC/DC past Highway to Hell. I'm not one of them. I like Brian Johnson. He had a you talk about big shoes to fill now. Them were some big shoes. Did I ever tell y'all I saw AC/DC with Bon Scott? Highway to Hell tour? Yeah, 1979. Show Nuff. Number 5. Now these guys will be in my top 5. Thin Lizzy. I like every incarnation of Thin Lizzy. The trio at the beginning with the Irish folky stuff to the 4-piece that pretty much everybody knows and loves, the hard rock band from the 70s, all the way into, I guess, the early 80s, or no, late 70s, when they got keyboard became a 5-piece. I love it all. Number 4. The Faces. That's like rock and roll 101. Like, it's like, man, I don't even know what rock and roll is. Can you tell me? You got to tell me something. Tell me what rock and roll is. Well, I don't know. Find one of those live videos of the Faces. Well, right there it is. You don't like that? Well, probably don't like rock and roll then. Number 3. Kind of in the same camp and crossing over in several ways. The members being traded back and forth, playing on each other's solo albums and stuff. Maybe y'all have heard of them. The Rolling Stones. Damn, they're Clayton. Everybody likes the Rolling Stones. When you're the best, and I'm giving you my top 20 rock and roll list. Like if all of y'all were giving your top 20 rock and roll list, y'all would all have ANTiSEEN on it. Well, am I going to go, oh, no, you're wrong. No, you're right. Rolling Stones. My favorite period of the Rolling Stones would be the Mick Taylor into the beginning of the Ron Wood. Man, I like all the way through what? Tattoo You. I like just about everything they've done, man. Some of it more than others, but I'm really, really, really a big fan of that Mick Taylor period. I guess I started with Sticky Fingers. Right? Oh, Will, you know who's on top, son. You got that. You pegged it, boy. Number 2, the Ramones. You can put them in the same hamper with Grand Funk and the Stooges and the Alice Cooper Group. Some of the greatest American export ever. Probably. Now we can argue the Beatles being one of the most influential bands in rock and roll history, but man, I think the Ramones. In my opinion, the Ramones take that title. Look at what all came after them. Now, I know a lot of people listening to rock and roll in the 60s and stuff, they got inspired by the Yardbirds and the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and stuff. But man, the Ramones made hundreds of thousands of young kids not just think they can play in a band, they can play music, they can make their own music. They showed you. They gave you the blueprint. Here you go, son. Go start your band, boy. I know a bunch of kids from New London, North Carolina that did that because of the Ramones. Number 1. Oi, Sex Pistol. Man, I hear people all the time. Oh, they were like a boy band. Nah, they weren't like no boy band. Just because Malcolm McLaren put them together, it's not the same thing, man. Did NSYNC change the course of music and culture? Pop culture as we know it, not even just pop culture, man. Culture in general. Yeah, the Ramones were the influence. But what the Sex Pistols did with one album, I know they did Great Rock and Roll Swindle and singles, and with one album, changed music and pop culture for everything that came after it, good and or bad. How much good heavy metal came out after Sex Pistols? You know, you talk about Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, all that. I know a couple of them were still going before, but the attitude of all the stuff, a lot of pop, a lot of stuff influenced by the Sex Pistols. Whether it's good or bad, whether you like it or don't, that's neither here nor there. Now, that's my top 20 favorite rock and roll bands as of September 13th, 2022. Now, I got to throw in some honorable mentions because I know I'm going to have people DMing me. Hey, man, wait, you didn't say. I mean, I got some honorable mentions. Like, maybe some of these could even take the places of them if you asked me on September 13th, 2023. I don't know. But let me run through them right quick. Wait, I mean, what are you going to do? The Runaways, the MC5, Leonard Skinner, the Marshall Tucker Band, Slade, Deep Purple, Rainbow, the Allman Brothers, Black Flag, Blue Cheer, Doors, Beatles, Anti-Nowhere League, Montrose, Angel. Not to mention the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of punk rock groups and the metal bands and I like a lot of stuff. I really do, and I think most of you do. I don't meet too many of our fans that are pigeonholed. And oh, I only like this. You know, now I know people that, man, all I listen to is death metal. All I listen to is black metal. That's all I listen to. I don't know. When you put those kind of limits on yourself, you are missing a lot of really great stuff. So don't do that. Don't limit yourself, man. Free your mind and your ass will follow. Aaron just says most genres have some diamonds, and that is a true statement. I've told you guys this before. I think of every single band you could even think of. If you listen to their entire album, but I don't even care what kind of music it is. You can find one thing of theirs that you go, man, that's all right. Will Tanner says, this playlist goes from Hank Williams to Monster Magnet. Man, I'm telling you, you walk into the return center, you got my playlist going outside, you got Will's going inside. You ain't no telling what you're going to walk into. You might walk into the Spice Girls and then run straight into the Exploited. That's just the way it is around there. We ain't listening to the only, like, classic rock radio, listening to the same 15 songs all day long, day in, day out. Well, man, I've enjoyed spewing all this for y'all, and I hope you've enjoyed listening to it. Hell, all except for that little mishap there at the beginning, man, this has been a fun day. I appreciate you coming. Tomorrow, tune in to Malcolm Tent's Facebook page for Tent Talks Tunes. Now, you know Malcolm Tent likes to talk some tunes now. And that's usually what we talk about. On our long drives to and from wherever we're going to rock and roll hoochie coo, we're usually talking about music. 9 times out of 10, I would say. I like tons of different kinds of music, too. I don't just like rock and roll. I'm just talking about rock and roll because I figured most of y'all could identify with most of what I was talking about. And I by no means think that I am some authority that my opinion is law. I'm not one of those people that do that. I'm just telling you what floats old JC's boat when it comes to the ear candy. And, you know, I don't come on here and waste time talking about things I don't like. Because, 1, I don't want to give it no advertising. And 2, I just think it's in poor taste to go and talk about, I don't like this, I don't like this, this sucks, because what good does that do? I mean, You can talk about us on the internet if you want to, about how much you don't like us, how much you hate us. I mean, I just see it as another form of advertisement. I don't give a shit. Well, thanks, y'all. Happy Tuesday. I hope you all have a really great week. I advertised the white Possum Judas shirts at the beginning of the show, but that was before the Wi-Fi went out, so I don't have one handy now to show you, but I'll post it on Facebook. Don't have them on the website yet. But, hey, y'all, you just keep on keeping on. You do what you do, I'll do what I do, and when we're through, we'll break on through. How about that?